Diabolical.
You made it. Kick back, stay, chat going crazy. We rolling with Ray. Hey, hey, booted up, new day, same squad. Ray in the lobby, that's our pod. Queue up quick, we don't wait long. Chat say hi when the cam comes on. Dropping in hot, yeah, the map look clean. One more match, turn to 17. Laugh so hard when the jump goes wrong. Clip that moment, that's content gone. Welcome to Ray's Stream. Everybody tap in, live on your screen. Top up your name, join in the scene. We all fam here, you know what I mean. Welcome to Ray's Stream. New game, same vibe, chasing that dream. Stay to the end, don't leave me team. Throw those hearts up high for Ray's Stream. Lights down low, but the mood stay bright. Heart rate up in the late night fright. Ray don't scream, she just laughs on mic. Chat like, girl, you wild, alright. Then it's Bill rotate. Catch that dub. Big wing dance, little shoulder shrug. Gifts in the feed, yeah, we show that love. Ray shout you out with a friendly welcome to Ray's Stream. Everybody tap in, live on your screen. Type up your name, join in the scene. We all fam here, you know what I mean. Welcome to Ray's Stream. New game, same vibe, chasing that dream. Stay to the end, don't leave me team. Throw those hearts up high for Ray's Stream. New face, all the same chair. If you had a rough day, drop it right there. We got jokes, we got wins, we got one big crew. If you rock with Ray, then we rock with you. Woo! Welcome to Ray's Stream. Everybody tap in, live on your screen. Tap up your name, join in the scene. We all fam here, you know what I mean. Welcome to Ray's Stream. New game, same vibe, chasing that dream. Stay to the end, don't leave me team. Throw those hearts up high for Ray's Stream. Throw those hearts up high for Ray's Stream.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the dying channel of Ray Revelation, Saggy Melons, Ray Bear, Deddy Pool, numerous names I go by on the internet that people just I go by so many aliases, y'all. It's crazy. I love it. I gave y'all all the information y'all need to try to find as much dirt as you can on me, because that is what we're talking about today. Because the last few streams I did, I definitely ruffled a lot of feathers from some blasts from the past, man. We going back to the basics, back to where I started, and man, do people never forget. I love it when they don't, because they always come out looking so dumb at the end, even though they claim I'm the one that looks dumb. It's all absolutely awesome. Did I stumble into the Sturgis loop? Apparently. I'm not even going to keep following that goofball, man, because they've proven already that everything that Frog Tony said about them is 100% factual. Because usually, I'm just like, I don't care, it's stupid. But when I enter the ring, anytime I enter the ring, I'm like, okay, I can see it now. What up, Bebop? How are you? Jillykins, beautiful Jillykins, how are you? Beautiful Dust is here. Dust is beautiful. The long, beautiful locks. I love it. I'm just playing with you. Dust, how are you? How are you, Dust? Dust over there, killing it on his channel, too. Boneyard. Dang, Gray looks different. I know, my skeletons, man. Have I seen Mikey No More CG documentaries? I haven't. I'll have to check that out. Maybe during one of my long shifts at work, I'll check it out. What up, Hey and Nate? How are you? How are you? Did I get a nose job? Yes, I did get a nose job. I did. It's okay, my channels are dead too. Bro, I'm telling you, dead channels. People act like that doesn't happen on YouTube. Like, you'll have your years where you're doing okay, a few months you'll be doing okay, and then it slows down. People get bored, or if you take too much of a break and you come back, people leave, find something else to watch. Like, it's not like my YouTube channel. I've said this since I started this channel. When I first started making content, it was mainly to have fun. And then when I came over here and started making content on this channel, it was for fun, editing, giving my opinions on, TV shows that I was watching and stuff, doing reviews, and then that led me to drama. And I've always said that I have zero expectations to be a big content creator. I've never sat here in a la la land thinking this YouTube channel was ever going to be the next biggest thing, or I was trying to be like the next Keemstar or whatever the shit that these weirdos project onto me. All of these people I've ever covered, all these people who hate me, they always sound the same. It's like I feel like I'm becoming racist because all y'all look the same to me now because y'all say the same shit. And y'all been saying the same shit for years. And it's always, and this one bothers me because it's like I have never once ever tried too hard. And when I say too hard, it's like, look at my channel. I could easily, there have been other content creators, successful content creators that I'm friends with who've said, well, if you do this and this and this, you'll get more attention. You'll get in the algorithm better. And I've never taken it. I'm always this drama grifter who tries to start shit for content. And yet, where? Bitch, where? Like, I go on social media and use social media like everybody else. I see something on my timeline and I respond shit, right? Or if I tweet something out, calling somebody out or calling somebody a bitch for blocking me, like 90% of fucking social media does. Anytime they're engaged in a fucking Twitter spat with somebody and that person blocks them, they always screenshot the block and talk shit, right? They do it and it's okay. It's not grifting. It's not starting shit. I do it and it's me drama farming. It's me drama farming. And then the irony of that is when people say drama farming, it's like, okay, if I am known for doing this, why do you fucks keep giving me exactly what you feel I'm looking for, which is farming drama, and y'all are partaking in it, and then you're gonna be mad at me? Like, I don't understand the logic behind this. But anyways, I got into it with this person who brought back so many old tales that some of y'all who have watched me for a very, very long time know about. It was addressed and talked about. I don't run from my past. I have said many times in all my years on the internet, I have made so many fucking fumbles. It's not even funny. Right. But then it's like when they throw shit at you that is factually untrue. Like all the shit that's true, you got that. Have I trolled people on the internet? 100%. Have I said some fucked up stuff to people on the internet? 100%. I have never now, nor would I ever deny any wrongdoings I ever did on the internet. It's always the bullshit that people fabricate and twist the truth to try to paint somebody as something. And it's all hypocrisy. Like I'm telling you guys, you can call me a hypocrite all day. I'll own that. But the hypocrisy is the same people who will call you a hypocrite are also hypocrites. Like two things can be true at the same time. Have I been hypocritical in the past? Oh, 100%. Can I be hypocritical now? 100%. But what does that change the facts that I am dishing out? It doesn't change the facts, right? I always love this analogy, and people say, well, that's an extreme analogy. Well, sometimes extreme analogies click better in people's brains, right? So say, for example, we'll use dust. We'll use dust as an example here. Sometimes covering drama is like eating a bunch of White Castle and chocolate at the same time. It's always going to be explosive in the bathroom either way. Correct. Now, we're going to use dust as an example here. Now, say I have murdered someone in the past, right? I have taken a life. And now Dust has also taken a life. And I call that out. Dust, I know you murdered that person. Like I did my time, right? I killed that person. I did my time. But Dust, you killed somebody and you lying about killing that person. Like you did it. And then Dust supporters will be like, right, but didn't you kill somebody back in 2013 and you did your time and you got arrested? It's like, yeah, that did happen. Well, you can't call out Dust for being a murderer if you're a murderer. Okay, well, 2 people are still dead, are they not? 2 people were still killed. It doesn't change the fact that, yes, I too am a murderer, but so is Dust. Okay? It doesn't bring those people back to life just because I myself killed somebody that I can't call out somebody else and say, yeah, you killed somebody too. Because the argument, when people say, well, didn't you kill somebody? It's a deflection. It means stop looking at dust. Stop looking at dust. Because he hasn't admitted he killed somebody. We all know he did it, but he didn't admit it. So, like, we're going to just change the subject and put it back on you. That's what the internet does to people online all the time. All the time. Now, again, I know that's an extreme, but that's the best way to describe how these people move. Okay? Because on one hand, yes, you can call me out for my hypocrisies. I will say, yes, I am a hypocrite. You are correct in that. But does that change the fact that the person I'm also calling out is that change anything? No, it doesn't. And I always use the extremes because I feel like that's the best way for people to have the conversation. Because it pisses them off. Well, you can't compare a murderer to no, bro. It's the same bullshit. It's the same bullshit. 2 people are still fucking dead. That doesn't mean that Dust did not kill that person. Just because you're gonna point at me and say I did it. Yes, I did it. So, anyways, people always do that to me, and I always find it fucking fascinating. So this goes back, a little history lesson. This goes back to my time during Weeb Wars. Somebody brought up Weeb Wars again. And I was like, I've talked about my time in Weeb Wars so many times. But they were like, well, you tried and failed at grifting Weeb Wars. And I was laughing. I was like, bitch, I wasn't even doing content during Weeb Wars. I was primarily on social media. I was on Twitter. I was in Discords. I wasn't a content creator. There was no grift. How can I grift off of Weeb Wars when I wasn't even a content creator to grift off of? There was nothing beneficial I was getting from that situation. So the person decided, instead of showing me proof that I was lying about my failed attempts to grift a movement, they went to good old Kiwi Farms to find multiple times that I was mentioned on that website for being involved in all kinds of shit. And I'm sitting here like, first of all, Kiwi Farms is not 100% accurate. Yes, they catalog a lot of shit, but they also do the same thing where if they don't like you and they want to laugh at you, they're not going to be 100% honest about it. So the headline that we started with was this is Ray in a gay ops Discord server explaining, she's exposing the Discord server. And I went to that thread and was reading through it, and I was like, oh, what's funny? I just needed one snippet from that conversation of me exposing this gay ops Discord server I was allegedly in. And I was laughing when I was reading it because I'm like, this is the first gotcha they had on me. And I brought this up and I was like, this is a conversation. All right. It says, it was supposed to be a Discord where everyone could just be peaceful, but then you had the not peaceful people who got in and it didn't work out. People were still beyond angry because it was the start of this mess, meaning the Vic Mignogna situation. Everyone wanted the answers, demanded them hard, so we decided best to just stay separate. There was no conspiracy theory, like I said. It was just I stand with Vic members who came up with the idea. And this is in reference to a Discord server with one of the loud peoples on the I think he was Kick Vic at the time or something. I don't know which one it was. But either way, there was a Discord server created for people from both sides of the argument to join and be civil with one another. And that's where I met a lot of I stand with Vic supporters when I was at that time a Kick Vic supporter. So when I went in there and I talked to people, this was the start of me getting to know the other side, understanding their points of view. There was no ops being had in that server. But the website, the people at this time wanted so badly to paint these false narratives, like the person who brought this up trying to paint a false narrative. I was like, did you even read the screenshots? Did you even read that thread? Those people hated me because I was against Vic Mignogna, which understandably so. Cancel culture was shitty. People shouldn't do cancel culture. This was the beginning of my time being terminally online, was really Weeb Wars. Before Weeb Wars, I had a life. Before Weeb Wars, I wasn't deep into all this shit. So again, this was the gotcha they started with. And I've talked about my time in Weeb Wars, what I did in Weeb Wars, my start finish for where I am. I talked about this many times, but they don't care because they're mad because I called Yellow Flash a bitch, and then went at Renown Zero about it. Like, it's funny how these people, the main thing they hate me for is just inserting myself in conversations they don't want me in. Well, welcome to social media. That's literally 99.9% of the internet is social media. Insert yourself in conversations no one invited you to. It's public, right? That's the whole point. But they hate me because I have opinions they don't like. That's fair. But they go too far sometimes. I always sit there like, y'all go too far. It's not that fucking deep. It's never that deep for y'all to get mad. Like, people who talk shit about other people online, it's like literally like small potatoes compared to like a lot of the shit some people do. Okay? The thing that always fascinates me is I've already owned all my mistakes on the internet. I'm waiting for the people like Yellow Flash to admit theirs. That's all. If Yellow Flash ever just addressed any of this shit, it would be like, okay, cool, he gave an answer. But he just acts like it didn't happen. It's like, but it did. It did happen. All these things did happen. And I don't know why everyone's just trying to look over here. Don't look at Yellow Flash. Don't question Yellow Flash why he was into a friggin' anime involving R-word and kids, or why he faked. Want to talk about gay ops? Like, Yellow Flash 100% during these times of Weeb Wars faked a doxing attempt on himself to get sympathy and get people to like click on him more and be like, oh my God, somebody tried to dox me. Feel sorry for me. Yellow Flash did that. And then he just like, it just disappeared and no one asked questions. But anyways, it was just funny. It's just funny. Yes, I gay op confirmed. I've said this many times. Was I part of Discord servers where people were opping people? 100%. I talked about that too publicly many, many times. Did I partake in it? Absolutely not. I was never part of the ops. I have a big mouth. When I say big mouth, it's like unintentionally say something or leak something. At least back then, I was pretty bad with that. I remember one time there was somebody, two people in the Discord server. They started dating, and I kind of let it slip that they were dating because I thought everybody knew, and that was my fault. But because of that, I was like, I shouldn't be in places where if y'all have secrets or things you don't want out, and you're doing some like stuff, don't put me in those groups. Don't put me in those groups. You know? So I wasn't really involved in gay ops, but people want to assume, because ops happen. And by the way, for those of you who don't know what gay ops is, it's just like people who, how's the best way to describe it? Like you're pretending to be cool with somebody to get information, which is hilarious because like if you go back and look at this screenshot, whoever I was talking to, I don't remember who it is. They block out the person's picture and name, so they don't expose who it was I was talking to. Clearly, it was somebody that was going to leak this or wanted information from me about this apparent Discord server that was gay opping. So like, that's what ops is. It's like people who like, do some, I'm your friend, I'm your buddy, and then backstab you type shit. I don't do all that shit. There's no need to do all that shit. I don't want to backstab anyone. I want you to see me coming. I want to stab you in the front. I want you to see the knife coming. It's so much more satisfying when you see it coming. I don't need to backstab anybody. But then they brought up, and I'm not going to bring it up. I put the link in my posts, but they also are talking about my quote suicide baiting. And again, I've been pretty vocal about my mental issues for a very long time. And that's why people don't talk about it, especially online, because if you even remotely hint that you don't want to live anymore and you're still alive, you just baited everybody, apparently. So now they're going with the narrative that I was suicide baiting. And again, it doesn't take a legit therapist to tell that I have issues, right? These people always talk about how I'm mentally ill anyway. So why would people not why would people act surprised or not believe that I actually have those types of thoughts? I mean, a lot of people have those types of thoughts anyways. It is a common thing where people talk about and feel like they don't want to live. So it doesn't really change anything for me. Like, okay, you can paint it as baiting, but the people who are there on that stream that day, they know what was going on. They understood, and they don't feel that way. So using that against somebody, it's like, I don't care. You guys can say that all you want. You can make fun of me for it all you want. I feel like I'm more petty, if anything. So I've said this many times. My haters keep me alive, because the last thing I want to do is leave this world and have them celebrate it or take credit for it. So I'm just going to keep staying alive. So if anything, thank y'all haters. Keep hating, because y'all keep my resolve to stay alive stronger. Trust me. I'm just saying. Hold on. I see somebody in the chat saying some stuff. Who has Parkinson's and just like learn? I'm confused. I have no idea what you're saying, chat. The internet is like Scream franchise. You don't know who's gonna get it next. I think we all just need to get a drink. I think sometimes people need to just really log off. You know, they'll always make fun of me for all the times I've quit YouTube or quit the internet. It's like, yeah, sometimes you just need to walk away. Sometimes I'm like, are you guys jealous that I got to take a break? Are you jealous that I finally had the willpower to say, this is too much. I need to step back. You know, this is getting too much. I need to step back. You know, we got people on the internet literally ending friendships over One Piece live action. Okay. So it's like literally people will have friends they've had for a long time ending their friendships on the internet because One Piece live action. Okay. It's never that deep on the internet. It's never that deep. People are just angry because they don't like it when somebody talks shit and gets attention for talking shit, which I get it. I hope you get attention from talking shit about me. I hope that your YouTube channel grows and gets a lot of views. Some people have literally got so many views back in the day just from shitting on me. And I would just be like, good, I'm glad I helped you out. I'm glad that shitting on me got you clicks. It's mutually beneficial for at this point. You know, you do a stream about me, I do a stream about you. We both win. I've never had issues with that. I always find it funny when people get mad about it, though, like when I do it. It's hilarious. I haven't gotten a drink on stream in a long time. I have my nips when I get out of work and my body sore. That's it. I think one time I got on stream. I remember one time, I think was it on your stream or something? I forget. I was on somebody's stream and I was absolutely drunk. And it was a while. It was a while since I got drunk. It's all gravy, baby, says Cosmic. Is it all gravy? I'll tell you what, though, that this whole situation with Yellow Flash and Renowned Zero, like, reminded me that these people have never changed. Like, I at least have grown and changed a lot from back in during those days, right? I have learned a lot about how the internet functions. I've learned a lot about like who I was and like who I didn't want to be. And then you see people like this bringing up old shit and like, but y'all never changed either. Like you want to say I haven't changed. I did all this shit, but y'all are still stuck in this fucking mental block where you still act and behave the same way. You still look at these old situations and these taglines and you still do the same shit. You present shit as facts when it's not facts. You know, you don't call out the bullshit because the person saying it is somebody you like and is going after somebody you don't. You know, I always find it funny, especially with the mental health argument, right? Because it's okay to make fun of somebody with mental health issues and suicidal tendencies when you don't like them. You want them dead at this point. You want them anything to shut them up, suicide, whatever. You want them gone. So make fun of them, right? They're baiting. But if it's somebody that you like, or not even just like, but if it's somebody who you can use to go after somebody you don't like, or even if it's somebody you do like, and they're suicidal or they're talking about ending their lives, it's like, oh, you know, we're here for you, dude. We're here for you, dude. Don't do that, right? It's because you like them, right? If you, here's the thing. If Yellow Flash ever did a stream, a drunken stream, where he was talking about ending his life. As much as I fucking hate Yellow Flash, okay, I wouldn't want that for him. See the difference? I don't have to like somebody to have some empathy for people, right? That's the problem that people really have with me. It's like they have no empathy. I have a little empathy. You know, I'm a hypocrite in certain aspects, but I'm very consistent when it comes to certain things. Like, I don't want Yellow Flash to die. If he did a stream talking about how he was depressed and how sometimes he contemplates things, I would empathize with him because, number one, I suffer from the same thing sometimes, right? But these people, they don't give a shit. It's a popularity contest. I said this many times. It's always going to be a popularity contest on the internet. You know, people don't genuinely care like they claim they genuinely care about a lot of the shit that they talk about. You know, a lot of these YouTubers, like, perfect example. Y'all remember, I know some of you new people won't, but I know some of y'all in my chat will remember this name. Y'all remember Sil Abdul? Do y'all remember Sil Abdul? Let me know in the chat if y'all remember Sil Abdul. Because he's back, by the way. And when I say he's back, he never left, but like, he's back on my radar too. But y'all remember Sil? Good old Sil? No? Okay. Well, Sil Abdul is a YouTuber who was really like one of the people that was involved with the Zack Snyder Restore the Snyderverse stuff. Okay. Y'all ever heard me talk about the Snyder cult? Okay. So Sil Abdul is a YouTuber. He started growing when he partnered up with this guy named Mikey Sutton, who had a Scoops website. He was a scooper. Unfortunately, Mikey Sutton had passed away due to health complications. But Sil was out there, grifting really hard with, Zack Snyder cult and stuff. And then after Mikey Sutton passed away, I guess he might have shifted his thoughts a little bit. It went back to kind of support in DC, which some of his, big supporters and I guess friends at the time did not care for, so they abandoned him. So Sil Abdul is back, going after some other YouTubers who I won't get into the story too much. Maybe we'll do that for another stream. But anyways, Sil Abdul brings up the fact that somebody apparently disrespected Mikey Sutton on Twitter. Okay. And he said, disrespecting the dead. Okay, let's unpack that. This is what I mean by hypocrisy and bullshit, guys, right? Let's unpack that. Because I remember when I was talking and covering Sil Abdul did a entire live stream that was members only, so it was monetized. He used Zack Snyder's deceased daughter on the cover, the thumbnail, and it was titled Why We Fight. Okay? It was supposed to honor Zack Snyder's deceased daughter. Now, I have no issues with people honoring the dead. However, I do feel it's a little shady and a little crusty to do it behind a paywall, meaning that you have to pay money to interact with the stream, number one. Two, during that stream that was supposed to honor Zack Snyder's deceased daughter, Sil Abdul and his panelists took that time to start talking shit about people like myself who called him out, who were calling them out and saying the Zack Snyder movement was dead or whatever, right? Used the stream meant to honor a deceased girl to talk shit about y'all's haters. Okay? How is that honoring the dead? And I guarantee you, whatever money was made on that stream was definitely not donated to suicide prevention. AFSP, the charity to help people who have mental health issues and suicidal tendencies, right? Because Zack's daughter took her own life. That's how she died. But let's talk about disrespecting the dead. Let's talk about disrespecting the dead. Sil Abdul, as well as a lot of those Snyder cultists, monetized and used Zack Snyder's deceased daughter for clicks. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to these people, is like, if you like Sil Abdul, you would not call him out for that. You would not think that's disgusting. You would look at them and be like, oh, Syl's doing a nice thing, and not looking at the optics. But when somebody makes a comment, which, by the way, the comment that Syl was crying about had nothing to do with his deceased former friend, Scooper guy, right? Nothing to do with Mikey Sutton. When Syl says that, oh my God, you disrespected Mikey Sutton. You're disgusting for making comments about the dead. Right? They got mad at Matt Jarbo because Matt Jarbo made a tasteless joke. Even for my standards, it was not a good joke. I knew when he said it, it was not a good joke. But Matt Jarbo made a comment that all these Zack Snyder cultists want to be the new Autumn being Zack Snyder's daughter. They want, basically implying that all these cultists want to be Zack's new child. It was a bad joke. It was not a good joke. But they were so outraged about the comment. And I'm like, a bad joke is one thing. Yes, call it out. It's disrespectful. Making money off of Zack's deceased daughter, in my opinion, is a lot worse. Oh, I know. But my thing is, again, we talk about the hypocrisy of like the majority of the internet. The majority of these content creators who will never admit they're being hypocritical. They'll never admit that they're in the wrong, but want to call out other people for it. The difference between them and me is if you call me out for being a hypocrite, I'll say, yeah. But then I'll follow it up with, but what does that change what I said? I could be a hypocrite 100%, but still doesn't change the facts. The facts matters. People ignore facts. People stay ignoring facts. People like to twist narratives. And at this point, it's less about following a content creator because they're credible, because you like them. It's more entertaining to feed a lie because you don't like somebody than be honest and genuine. And it's the viewers too. The viewers are just as bad in this respect because y'all are the ones that are watching everybody, right? All the ones that are watching everybody. And then if you are one of those viewers who happen to try to call out the content creator for their hypocrisy bullshit, what happens, guys? You're no longer part of the community anymore. You are exiled. Bye-bye. Outcasted. You're gone. Mods, take care of that person for calling me out on my bullshit. Right? It's literally, like I said, the internet is like high school. The internet is a gigantic high school, and all of us adults apparently are still in this whole teenager mindset where clicks matter, popularity matters, numbers matter. Numbers will always matter because they always bring it up. Oh my God, look at your channel. You only have 14 people watching you. Your channel's dead. Your channel sucks. Bitch, I've never cared if I only had 14 people watching me. I've never cared if I had one person watching me. I would stream for an hour talking to 0 viewers. Because I've never got into this for the wrong reasons like all of these fucking clowns have. They all want to be fucking top tier content creators. They all want to, bro, if you get into YouTube thinking that you're going to be the next big thing, you already failed as a content creator. And I'm okay with my dead channel. It means I can actually read my chat. I can see when Mr. Yanafui comes in here and says snitchers. I could read when Cosmic Raider says dead channel, bud. I can say hello to Aerostream and say, what's up, Aerostream? My chat's not popping. I don't need to be popular on the internet. I'm a grown-ass adult now. Maybe if I was a teenager, I'd care about these things. But as a grown-ass adult, I'm more worried about my bills being paid. That's why the GoFundMe's came up. I'm more worried about my my money being paid, and the GoFundMe's helped out. Thank you, guys. If I didn't have a small platform and people who actually cared about me and want me to not be homeless on the streets because I have moments where I struggle in life, appreciate y'all. And again, don't hide that fact. People like to throw out shit that I myself have put out there, like, no shit, I made GoFundMe's. Oh my God, that's your gotcha? That's your big gotcha? Look at all the GoFundMe she made. She's scamming people. There was only one time I actually got called a scammer, and that was like the situation where I was trying to help out a friend with a lawsuit. And that's where a lot of that stuff started really coming out, where people were like digging into me, trying to find shit on me, which was hilarious. People are just fucking insane. Like, y'all have nothing better to do. Nothing better to do. This is your lives. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves. That's true. I also want boba tea. I've said this many times. I have no issues e-begging or grifting for boba tea. That is not a secret. Like, boba tea is part of this channel. Like, hello. Yeah, bitch, how dare you grift for people, you piece of shit. Oh man. Meanwhile, you, like I said, you got people like John Della fucking Rose. All these people bitching about this live action One Piece, right? Bitching about this live action One Piece show. Never really watched the original. People who don't do research and know what the fuck they're talking about. Just grifting off of the hate. I've said this many times. I hate these YouTubers because they literally just grift. That, like, when I'm talking about grifters, they grifting. They grift off of hate watching. It's insane. And when I say hate watching, it's more like they're going to be so mad at something they've never watched, have no intention of watching, don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. But because there's enough people, oh, it's woke, it's woke, it's woke. Oh my God, it's woke, guys. It's woke. Mr. Jaffu, I'm describing everybody. Your buddies on that side too, Mr. Yanafui. They do it as well. They do it as well. You know that's true. I mean, again, yes, I could be describing Frog Tony too, sure. But it's all of them. That's all I see now. They all are the same. They're all the same to me at this point. I have a friend who is an otter. Wait, what? Who's a what? That's calling out those grifters as we speak. Oh, dude, they're awful. These people attacking the One Piece live action are awful. And I have not watched all of One Piece. I stopped after a while. It's too long. Bro, the first season of One Piece, the anime, is 60 fucking episodes. Okay? I did the math. If you, where the live action is as far as the story goes, in the anime, to catch up to where the live action is, you have to sit through 91 episodes of One Piece anime to even catch up to where they are in the live action. They are speed running the story in the live action, for one, which is why I'm happy it exists, because I'm not going back and watching all, like, it's over 1,000 episodes, guys. One Piece anime is top 10, one of the longest anime series still going on right now. And that's cool if you've never watched it or have a desire to watch it. But don't come on social media and talk about shit being woke because they made XYZ changes without doing your due diligence to do research. Everyone mad about the princess being an Indian woman have no idea what the fuck they're talking about. They don't understand Japanese culture. Even the fans. I'm disappointed in these fans because the fans should know better. Okay, here's some information. Here's some education for people. Because again, when people say you shouldn't know what we're talking about, well, let's talk about shit I do know what I'm talking about. Okay, Japan has a long history of getting inspiration from other cultures, but not properly representing them in their art. Okay, because in Japan, being very light-skinned is what they consider social beauty. I know. Like, being dark-skinned, for some reason, they think being pale, light-skinned is a thing. And that might date back to the fact that back in the days before technology, before governments, it was just kings and queens. Do you understand that white skin? Do you know why white skin was considered beautiful? Because it being white and fat was considered beauty standards, because white people, like being pale skin and being fat, meant you weren't a worker, you were wealthy. You weren't out in the sun working, so you weren't tan. Being fat meant you were eating well. So being skinny was not attractive in old times because that meant you were poor. You couldn't afford to eat. So I'm theorizing that when it came to Japan, like that was kind of why, especially with light skin is more appealing to them. So even though a character who has a fucking afro and plays music that is more suitable for black people, but he might be a little pale. It's not because he's not a black man or he was inspired by a black man. It was just because in Japan, that's how they chose to put him as whiteface. Okay? So when people are upset about a princess who, if you actually are a fan of the original work, you know that Alabaster, which is where this princess is going to, her home country, the creator of One Piece even said Alabaster is meant to be inspired by Egyptians. It's a desert land. I always wanted them to be darker skinned. But we always ignore what the creator wants. Because again, just because you say, this is what I mean by these anti-woke fucking people. It's woke. Netflix made it woke. Hey, Netflix wasn't the one who casted these actors. Guess who was involved with the casting of these actors? The original creator of the fucking the anime and manga. So why are you guys blaming Netflix for making these changes when it was the creator of One Piece, the writer of the original story, who was part of this project? He's the one who's co-signing on all these casting choices. But it's woke, guys. Netflix made it woke. You see how fucking spinning narratives? Do you see how it is when people don't do their fucking research and they don't know what they're talking about and they just spew nonsense? And because people don't give a fuck to actually research or educate themselves or even watch the fucking source material, John De La Rose ain't got time to sit there and watch over 1,000 episodes of One Piece. The man probably hasn't even watched the first season, which is, again, 60 episodes long. But let's go to John De La Rose and listen to his thoughts on the live-action One Piece and talk about how woke it is. Oh, I already watched the whole season of One Piece. I thought it was great. Bro, they brought Katie Seagal. Katie Seagal plays a character in One Piece. As soon as I saw her, I was like, oh my God, I love Katie Seagal. And she nailed the role. She did such a great job. One Piece, the thing that always bothers me about these live action adaptations that people always complain about is if they change things to make it more realistic, it comes off bad. Okay? They don't like it. They change too much to make it realistic. It's stupid, it's bad. Why can't they stick to the source material? You have an actual live action adaptation that stays very close to the original. The world is designed to look like the world of One Piece. The costumes are designed to look like every character that's there for the most part, right? The costumes are fabulous. There are some things they can't do, sure, but watching this live action, it's One Piece. You feel like it's the One Piece universe, and they are following the story. Okay, and it's gonna come off as cringe because if you watch the original One Piece is goofy as fuck. Monkey D. Luffy is this goofy ass character, and that's exactly how he's being played in the show. But the fans are like, well, it looks cringe. It looks awful. But if they changed it to be more realistic, y'all would be complaining about it. Well, how come they couldn't get this scene in here? Why is Monkey D. Luffy acting too serious? Because when you're translating animation to live action, it's going to be goofy. The reason why these directors and producers and these writers, the reason why they have been making shitty live action adaptations is because they've always been afraid to stick to the source and try to make it feel and look as much as the anime as possible. And when they fear it, it comes out like shit. Bruh, this argument's getting bad when people are trying to compare this shit to Dragon Ball Evolution. One of the worst American fucking garbage adaptations of an anime that movie had no business ever being made. That anime, that adaptation was awful. Like, we want to talk about realism. They took Goku, who's supposed to be pretty much the strongest being on planet Earth. This motherfucker was bullied in high school. You're telling me the strongest Saiyan who's on Earth is being bullied by a bunch of human kids? Like, this is the story we're telling? This was the story, guys? But we're mad about One Piece. It's insane. Like, I saw what Tecton. This man don't look like he watched One Piece, but even if he did, I'm like, how are y'all gonna sit here and say One Piece is woke? Like, they talk about Brook, the black guy who's playing, the music for the whale. Why is he black? It's okay. It's okay, guys. Don't wait for it. He becomes white later on because the man is dead and he's a skeleton. Spoiler alert for anyone who didn't fucking watch One Piece. He's dead. He's a skeleton now. He's white now. Just because as a human he was black. Oh my God. And I saw people bringing up a good fact. They called this man the Soul King and he has an afro. And I saw some stupid person on Twitter saying, you guys do understand that white people have afros too. Bitch, do you understand that afros originated in Africa? Look it up. Google is free. I don't know why people don't know Google is free. The afro originated in Africa. Why? Why did black people have their hair afros? To protect their head from the sun. And what happened? The 70s. Do you understand that? Yes, the person said a Jufro. I was dying at Jufro, by the way. There's people. You ever heard of a Jufro? I'm like, bitch, do you understand that white people have usually naturally straight hair? Like, yes, white people can have curly hair, but their hair is definitely different textured. Do you know what it takes for some white people to get a fro? White people have to kill their hair just to get a fro. That's like the same argument with white people and dreads. Yes, there are white people who do look great with dreads. Do you know what it takes for a white person to have their hair ready to be dreaded? They have to pretty much damage the fuck out of their hair to get that look. That's why black people do their hair like that, because our hair texture and the oils in our hair make it so easier for us to wear those hairstyles. Meanwhile, white people are literally perming their hair, killing their hair to have fros. I'm just saying. Yeah, well, there's different types of curly hair. Like, curly hair is like, white people curly hair is not the same as black people curly hair. Okay? It's just not. So that argument will always be the most dumbest argument ever. It's like, just like I would say this. Black people didn't start the dreads. I know. Hot take. Black people didn't start the dreads. Dreads were worn by Vikings, by the way. Dreads were worn by very pale Vikings, by the way. It wasn't just like, I don't know why people assume that black people are the only ones qualified to wear dreads. Like, it's hair. I don't care how you wear your hair. Like, it's hair. If you want to have a fro, have a fro. If you want to have dreads, have dreads. But let's stop acting like we know the origins of fucking these hairstyles, okay? If it's okay if you don't know the origins of where hairstyles came from, but to say that dreads are a black people thing and it's black culture, I saw videos of that and I was disgusted. I'm like, why are we proving that we're very uneducated? You can't go to somebody and say, why are you wearing dreads? You're appropriating our culture. Bitch, dreadlocks didn't start with our culture. Vikings definitely rocked dreads before we did. Just saying. It's really easy. See how easy it is to do research and admit when you're wrong? I wish more people would do that. It'd be fantastic. Nothing on this planet will make my hair curl. It's the straightest straight hair. No, there's chemicals, but it kills your hair. I also blame the education system, Lunchbox. Like, we can agree on that. She does not remember disco. Mr. Yanafui, black people wore afros. Then white people wore afros. But look it up. Look up the origins of afros. It started in Africa, which, again, I don't care if white people want to wear afros. Some white people look good in afros. Some white people look fantastic with dreads. I don't care what people want to wear on their head. That doesn't bother me. It bothers me that that there are people uneducated on the origins of hairstyles to say some ignorant ass shit like, oh my God, don't you guys know white people can have afros too? I'm like, right. But you have to look at the evidence to back it. It wasn't just the afro of this character that was the issue. He was called a soul king. And most people, and then again, the creator said, like, yes, there was inspirations from Black culture to inspire that character. The fro, the soul king, the mannerisms, the style, it was all inspired by Black culture. So him wanting to cast a Black person to portray that character should be end all be all discussion, but it's woke, guys. It's woke. It's woke because the real YouTube grifters say it's woke. The real YouTube grifters will tell you that this thing is woke. I won't see it because they have a Black person in it. And if you look at the pictures of the anime, he was supposed to be white. Bitch, he's supposed to be a skeleton too. Should we be outraged if he's not a real skeleton? Guys, if they don't make this character a real fucking skeleton in the next season of One Piece live action, if that man's not a real skeleton, I'm fucking rioting. He better be a real life skeleton, guys. Or else I'm done. I'm out. I don't want to watch One Piece live action if they can't get a real skeleton for this freaking role. I can't stand the internet sometimes, but I love it because it's content. Right. Well, history will always tell you otherwise. I'm sure there are people who discovered this land before the Vikings too, but nobody wanted it. Nobody wanted it. You know, the 70s, everyone had afros no matter what color they were. Exactly. And I mean, it is what it is. You know, every culture copies other cultures. It's just a fact, but it's okay depending on what side of the race wars you're on. Same with culture wars, man. If you like John De La Rose and you agree with his takes, power to you. There will be people like me always out there that call you guys uneducated, ignorant fools. Because that's what, I'm sorry, but it's just the fucking facts. All these YouTubers calling out this shit saying it's woke. It's like, you are the most uneducated people. Like, it gets worse every single time this shit happens. Like, I'm so happy that One Piece live action exists. I'm not going back to watch 1,000 episodes of One Piece just to get the story. I'm not gonna. Maybe what triggers people is that Vivi's family are basically celestial dragons that live among commoners. I don't know what the issue is, but man, I felt bad for that actress. Like, the racism is real. Like, they just, I don't understand. I just don't understand. Like, her land is a desert. That's just like the whole Jesus argument. I'm sorry I have to bring it up. But like, the whole argument of like, I sat there, I was like, how did we go from reading the Bible and seeing Jesus' description? He had hair like sheep. Like, he had wool. He had hair like wool, right? And olive skin. Okay. And he was from the desert lands. How did that translate to a pale ass white man with straight long hair for like centuries? How did we go from, there's a legit description in the Bible of what Jesus looked like, and then they would paint him the exact opposite. Like, I don't know if people have ever seen people that live in desert lands. They ain't white. They ain't white. They're tan skin. They're olive skin. They're not white. So I understand in the anime, yes, was Vivi white skin? Sure. Did it make sense? Absolutely not. But again, you have to understand Japanese culture as well. You have to also understand there's very few proper depictions of people of color in animes. They've had a history of it. Some of them got better to make sure they did it right. But for the most part, to avoid any character not being looked at or liked because of their skin color, you know, the creator's like, let's just make them white. But it never made sense. And the creator's like, I based Alabaster off Egypt. Okay? They're supposed to be basically like Egyptians. And if you know, there are light-skinned Egyptians, but there are also a lot of dark-skinned Egyptians. Okay? Georgina Floyd. Everybody knows Jesus was and is a beautiful blue-eyed white man. I guess so, because, you know, it's really simple, though. It's like, people really have to start doing more research. Anytime I see on my timeline a John Della Rose or anybody talking about something woke, I'll research it. It's really simple. Again, Google is free. Y'all should start using it more. Stop letting YouTubers tell you how to feel and just do research. Like, they just say it's woke, but they don't explain why it's woke. They don't go into detail about why it's a woke decision. It's just woke because the person was white and they went to black. You guys have no idea how many times, even in comic books, I've said this before, and people like don't pay attention, but there are many comic book writers that have come out and said, I always wanted this character to be gay, but those times weren't ready for it. So now that we're in a time that's a little bit more accepting, I can finally make this character gay, and it's not going to completely ruin my entire career. And that's true. Like, look into some of these character changes. Anytime you see a character change, look back on how the directors, what did the creator say? And people say, well, I don't have to agree with the creator. That's cool. You don't have to agree with the creator. But if you're going to sit there and say you're a fan of a source material, the source gets no better than the creator of the material. And if the source material is saying, I always intended for this character to be this way, yeah, that's just something you'll have to accept as a fan of the source material. It's like, no, you're not a fan of the source material at that point. You're a fan of what you want. Because I've seen it. There's been many times that creators of things have come out and said, I always wanted this character to be this way, but the times weren't ready for it. We were in a different time. So I had to make this character this way so I could sell the book, so I could sell the story. But when people bring it up, it's like, no, it's just woke trash. You don't know what you're talking about. Well, you don't clearly care to look into any of this stuff. You just want to say it for the clicks and engagement. Power to you, but let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Especially when it comes to anime. I've said this many times. I will die saying this. I said this to John Della Rose in private, in public. I've said this to him many times. Japan has been woke before woke was a thing. Japan has always had gay men, lesbians, cross-dressers, non-binary characters in their entertainment for a very long time. Because to them, the way they view homosexuality is not the same way that we view homosexuality. The way we view feminism and masculinity is not the same way Japan views masculinity and femininity. So to sit here and make an argument of anything coming from Japan being woke is so fucking brain dead and ignorant. It fucking pains me. Because Japan has done this shit for a long time. Men would dress up as women, and it was fucking fine. Men who dress up as women in Asian culture, in South Korea and Japan, men who dress up as women, it's looked at as adorable, as cute. Not gay. Not gay. It's cute. Girls think it's adorable when men dress up in women's clothes. Okay? But out here, that's gay. Holy shit. It's almost like Japanese men are so much more secure and comfortable with their sexuality and their gender that this shit doesn't bother them. They probably look at us like, why are they so mad about this? You know? Corn is it's not really illegal because they have it. They censor it, but they do have it. They have hentai. They have hentai. I mean, they have hentai. I'm just saying, like, it's really that easy to do some research to understand more about these things rather than let some YouTuber who's trying to get money off you tell it to you. You know, all you have to do is think for yourselves. It's fine if you want to be entertained by these content creators, sure. But please just do yourselves a favor and do a little bit of research. Just a little bit of research. Like, you don't even listen to me. Do what you want to do with the information I gave you. Look it up to see if what I said was not true. You know, if you disbelieve anything I'm saying or think I'm saying incorrect stuff, do your own research and then prove me wrong. Because, like, I'm telling you, this One Piece controversy is so dumb. It's dumb. And it's disappointing that even fans of the original works and fans of the writer are being this ignorant and dumb. They, of all people, should know better. This stuff in anime is not new. It's not new. Go back and actually educate yourselves on One Piece. And also, stop bitching about how I saw a post yesterday where it said, oh, they only, One Piece only got like X amount percent of the story. And everyone's like, oh, only 80 something percent to go. And I'm like, motherfuckers, it's over 1,000 episodes and it's not even ended yet. One Piece is still going. They haven't ended One Piece yet. So I don't know what to tell y'all. And here's the thing. I'm going to say it here and now, and you heard it here first. I give One Piece maybe at most 3 more seasons before Netflix cans it. 3 more seasons until Netflix cans it. All right. Another thing people are uneducated about, Netflix's track record of canceling shows. The longest seasons they've had on Netflix that from something that they have made, not other shows. They have a bunch of seasons, but a Netflix original show. Longest seasons is like between like 8 and 10 seasons, I believe. I could be mistaken, but they don't have long seasons. They're not going to do a whole 32 seasons of One Piece, guys. I give One Piece maybe 3 more seasons, and that's being generous because originally I gave them 2. But I'm gonna probably give them maybe 3 more seasons of One Piece before they axe it. They're not gonna keep this going for a long time. I'd be surprised if they did, and if they did, that would be a record because Netflix original shows don't stay going for too long. They eventually cut the plug. So what up, DD? No, I'd give it 3 more seasons. I'd give One Piece live action 3 more seasons before Netflix ends it. Because like I said, it's still ongoing. They already did in the live action. They did 3 seasons of One Piece. Because if you go on Netflix right now, the whole thing of One Piece is on Netflix right now. So if you go on Netflix, you can see how many episodes each season has. So between 1 and 3 seasons of One Piece, that's where we're at in the live action. And then after that, we get to Alabasta and that story arc. And they're probably going to rush a couple of seasons with the next season they come out with. But Alabasta is the next season of One Piece because that's where they're heading. That's where they're heading right now. So they're not going to, they're trying to speed run it. And one of 2 things might happen with this live action. One, again, Netflix might cut it short because of budget, which is what Netflix usually does. So we might end up on that cliffhanger. 2, because they're speed running all these seasons, we might actually catch up to where they might currently be at, maybe, and they're not finished. So I don't know if they do a couple more seasons, they're probably going to speed run 3 seasons of the anime per season and see how that goes. But I don't think it's going to last long, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know. I think that's where we're going. Like I said, they are speed running this entire franchise right now. But again, everyone bitching about it. It's like it's the best live action anime adaptation that we've gotten. And I really wish that more people would put respect on its name and stop bitching and nitpicking. And I really wish people who didn't even watch the original, don't even watch anime really at all, will shut the fuck up and stop talking like they do know what the fuck they're talking about. Because anyone looking at this and saying it's woke is like, y'all are so dumb. Now we got people saying, oh, well, they changed all the pirates to black people, and Rowan, what's his name? Zoro. I wanted to say his full name. Zoro is the pirate hunter, so he's going around killing all the minorities. And I'm just sitting here like, technically speaking, Zoro's Asian, right? Like, he's a minority too. Maybe if they casted a white guy like everybody wanted. Which, by the way, the action scenes in One Piece with Zoro is fantastic. Fantastic. You know, they're even calling out the fact that Zoro in the live action smiles too much. Why is he happy? He's always not happy. It's like, so we're giving Zoro a little bit more personality and y'all are mad at it? That's crazy. Oh, 100%. But it'd be nice if opinions were based on some facts. These opinions are literally based off of nothing other than people just wanting to bitch and moan and to make money off of shitting on something that is actually really good, considering. And the last live action we got that people were bitching, Cowboy Bebop. And again, I like Cowboy Bebop. There was attempts, but there was too much changes that I could see why fans hated it. You know, don't even get me started on good old Matt Jarbo. Me and Matt Jarbo got into it on Twitter because I said, Matt, ain't no way because he said he watched the live action Death Note. And I always clown on him for that because I'm like, watch the original. He said he tried to watch the original. He prefers the live action. I'm like, bro, like Death Note was such an easy story to tell in live action. They already did it in Japan with 2 movies based on the anime and 2 movies that were original, right? And Japan did it first and they did it great. You really have to be really special to ruin a simple story like Death Note. And they ruined it. And why did they ruin it? Because they wanted to make it more modern and especially cater to Western audiences more than stick to the canon. And it just came out like slop. They changed the characters so dramatically that they were unrecognizable. That's why that movie failed. Just like Dragon Ball Evolution. That movie had potential to be good, but they changed so much to cater to American audiences that it became unrecognizable. And I will agree with one criticism that said Dragon Ball Evolution probably would have been a decent story and it would have been decent had it had nothing to do with Dragon Ball. If that movie had nothing to do with Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball, it would be fine. But they wanted it to be a Dragon Ball movie and they wanted to get the anime fans on board. And we saw this and we threw up in our mouths. And we said, y'all had no business to make this. I want to know what drugs y'all were on when you thought that this was the movie that was going to make y'all money. Like, this was not it. Not it at all. Ghost of the Shell was kind of mad. The Ghost of the Shell was like, what the... Listen, Scarlett Johansson, that's why. Scarlett Johansson. I mean, I think she did a good job. Don't get me wrong. But, you know, some movies, some things you just shouldn't touch. Now they're talking about doing Samurai Champloo. And I heavily encourage y'all, please watch the anime. It's not a long-ass series, so you can have time to binge it. Watch the original before you even try to entertain a live action. And I'm sorry, but if they fuck up Samurai Champloo, I really will go back to losing faith in humanity. Because that is also a simple story to tell. It's a very simple story to tell. The costumes aren't bad, like they're not over the top. And it's a simple story. So please watch Samurai Champloo. It's great. The music was great too. They better keep the music. I know, I was supposed to talk about the skeletons in my closet. Now we're talking about One Piece live action because that's another story that's been pissing me off this week because I'm just like, dude, this is where we're at, guys. We are arguing over a really good anime adaptation and people are getting super impressed about it. And it's absolutely disgusting behavior, in my opinion. Like, these fans have lost their damn minds. We want you guys to keep to the source material. Why doesn't this character have their iconic look? Well, because their iconic look looks goofy. Well, yes and see, I liked Cowboy Bebop because it was the first time in a very long while, like, it felt like the universe, right? It felt like I was watching an anime. They kept a lot of stuff in that was from the source material, but then they kind of took like a whole curve to another direction. And I was actually curious because even though I understand why Cowboy Bebop ended the way it did. I hated that it ended the way it did. I wanted more from Cowboy Bebop. And the way they ended it definitely opened up more to the story that I wanted to see because it was interesting. But yeah, there was a lot of things they could have definitely done better. But I would say the best thing about Cowboy Bebop was Jet, and people were mad that he was black. And I was like, dude, if you, again, another example of a character definitely inspired by a black man, but not drawn to be a black man. But that guy killed that. He killed it. He did fantastic. Like, that was Jet. If I was to have anyone casted as Jet and Cowboy Bebop, that black guy had it. His performance was so spot on. Like, that was the character. That man did his research. So I'm just saying. Ray, do you like Buffy the new season got canceled? I never got big into the TV show, I'm not gonna lie. The movie, I loved the Buffy the Vampire Slayer movie, but TV show, I wasn't really big into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I was in a different place when I was that age, okay? I was more into, like, you know, Power Rangers and stuff. Like, I wasn't really into those shows. So Buffy was not, I mean, I'm not saying Buffy was a good show. I'm sure Buffy was great. It lasted very long, got some spin-off shows that also did good. So I'm not knocking Buffy the Vampire Slayer at all. It's just when Buffy the Vampire Slayer came out, I was younger and it just wasn't my thing back then. I might have to go back and watch Buffy though, because I went back and watched Vampire Diaries and I thought I was going to hate Vampire Diaries and I actually loved Vampire Diaries. So I don't know. Some of these things, like, I would want to go back and watch, but I also feel like some of these shows were so friggin' long that I just don't want to go back and watch it all. It's like one of those things, like, I know Buffy was good. I know Buffy was a very good show. But I just didn't want to go back and watch it all for some reason. And then I'd have to watch Angel, and I didn't want to watch that either. Believe it or not, Vampire Diaries was so much better than Twilight. And I actually watched Vampire Diaries during the hype of Twilight because I thought Twilight was stupid. And then I finally watched Twilight. I think this, like, last year. I finally sat down and watched all of the Twilight series. And I was just like, oh, this is so bad. I hated Twilight. I hated Twilight. So I went and watched Vampire Diaries because I was like, you know, after Twilight, the age of vampire movies and TV shows were like popping. So I was like, I heard Vampire Diaries was okay. So I watched Vampire Diaries and it was okay for a while. Towards the end, didn't care for it. Buffy reboot isn't finished yet. Oh, they're rebooting it. Of course they are. You know, Hollywood is so desperate and dry of original ideas that they just take all the old shit that made them lots of money. It's like, let's do this again. Yeah, Twilight was awful. Twilight was pretty bad. I had to watch it all though. I was dating somebody who, I guess, you know, was dating someone who was into Twilight. So when the third movie came out, he felt obligated to watch it. So I think he said that as a bullshit because he didn't want me to know he was into Twilight. So I did watch the last movie with him. And I was just like, yeah, this is dog shit. And then, like, I was like, you know what? I should probably watch Twilight because, you know, it's 3 movies. I saw the last one. I'm going to rewatch it. And then we'll just go from there. I missed Firefly too, but I did see the movie. I missed Firefly. Y'all have to remember when all these really good shows came out, again, I was like younger and I was just into more, like, I was more into anime and Power Rangers and Japanese stuff. So I wasn't really big into watching all of the American TV shows and stuff, you know? So a lot of these shows, unfortunately, I did miss out on because it just wasn't for me. But I know they were really good because a lot of people told me they were good and they were very popular. And again, Firefly, I know ended too soon. I know that much. And so they did the movie. And I did see the movie because one of my friends, again, went to the movie theaters with my friends, like, oh, it's, you know, from Firefly. And I was like, I've never seen Firefly. But the movie was fantastic. And I love Nathan Fillion. I love Nathan Fillion more now than anyone could say I would have liked back then. Because I think Nathan Fillion is so funny and he's not afraid to do different things. Like, you know, he does, believe it or not, if you guys ever heard of Big Mouth, he does a voice in Big Mouth. He plays himself in Big Mouth. and I think it's absolutely funny. And he always references how a bunch of oh, your mom was definitely your dumb mom would definitely know who I am. I'm Nathan Fillion. Ask your mom about me. How do you not know Nathan Fillion? Ask your mother about me, young man. He's funny. I do like Nathan Fillion. I think he's a great actor. I think he's funny. And again, Firefly, I know ended too soon. And that was like, what was it on Fox? Fox also has a history of doing that dumb shit. We're gonna cancel these good shows, and then fans will be like, bring it back, and then we'll bring it back in some way, shape, or form. How many times did Family Guy get canceled? What up, Holden? Hi, Holden. How are ya? Love you right back. Yes, Nathan Fillion is a good actor. That's why I like him being in the DC right now. I like him being in DC. His character was very interesting, but Nathan Fillion, good old Nathan Fillion. Don't know how old you are. I'm old. What's funny is that I watched the video into which Blade is gonna kill Edward, and it came from a comic. Someone typed up it. That's hilarious. That was hilarious. I'm indifferent of the Stewie Family Guy spinoff only because yes, Stewie is a great character, but Cleveland was also a good character that they gave a spinoff to, and I liked the Cleveland show. I did, but apparently they had to shut that down. But the Cleveland show was pretty good. I did like the Cleveland show. The Stewie spinoff is gonna be interesting. Seth MacFarlane definitely needs to do something because Family Guy, I think they're trying to do Family Guy like the new Simpsons. The fact that the Simpsons is still airing is absolutely friggin' insane. Literally insane. I don't know how the Simpsons is still going. Yeah, the Cleveland show is okay. It was interesting to say the least. It had its funny moments, but it definitely was like, we're going to make a show about our black character, and there's going to be so many references, but it was funny. It was funny. And I'm also like super sad though that the main actor who did the voice of Cleveland, he was fantastic. I hated that he gave up the role because, we should give it to a black actor. I mean, I'm happy y'all feel that way, but we could just give them more jobs and have them play roles. Like, why can't you have a black voice actor voice a white guy? Like, we've been doing it for a long time. Hello, Earl Jones, Darth Vader. We all know that just because, Anakin Skywalker got burnt, he wasn't black, was he not? Okay, so Darth Vader was voiced by a black man. Keith Davids, he voiced a lot of white characters, and he's a black man, so why can't we just cast more black people to do voice acting and not worry about the color of the skin palette on screen? They're doing it. I can't. You think American Dad is better than the Cleveland Show and Family Guy? I think all the shows are great. I think Seth MacFarlane is really good at making animations. I think he's a very talented man, and I like a lot of things Seth MacFarlane has done. I like it. But right, besides it's called acting, right? And it's voice acting. So I've never seen an issue with a white person doing a black character, just like I have no issues with a black person doing a white character. It's using your voice. And I've also spoken on this too, again, back to educating people. A lot of the times they would specifically look for black men in voice acting because black men have a lot of black men have very deep vocals, right? So, whenever they want a villain, they cast a black man because a black man's got a very deep villainous sounding voice. They wanted deep voices, so they would purposely seek out black men to do these characters, but people don't like to acknowledge that that they would do that. So it's like, bro, if we're really getting mad over black people not voicing black actors, well, I guess fuck all of the black men who've literally launched careers because of those type of roles, like good old Earl Jones being Darth Vader's voice. That definitely paved his way to other things, and he's gone now, which is very sad. But looking back on it, it's like, why are we so worried about things that shouldn't really matter? It's dumb. Like, I don't think that y'all should be giving up your roles for black men or women, just hire them to do voice acting. I don't really think I don't really generally think that a black person is going to be upset that they're vocalizing or giving their voice to a character that's not black. You know, they're just happy that they can do what they love and passionate about and collect a paycheck. So I thought that whole thing of the wave of actors giving up their roles so they can cast a proper representation was the dumbest thing I ever heard. You know, as long as you're doing it in a respectful way, you're not disrespecting the culture. I don't care. Samurai Jack was a black guy. Exactly. There's so many examples of black voice actors cast, doing voices of characters that aren't black. Right now in anime, there's a black voice actor who's doing a lot of voices. I think he plays he's in Dandadan. I know that. He's a black young man and he does the voice of one of the main characters in Dandadan, and it's not a black character, right? So should we be upset that he's not voicing a black character, or should we just be happy that he gets to do what he loves and makes money doing a character and voice acting? Like, that should be the primary thing. But we live in a world where people want to bitch and moan about race and woke and shit, but it is what it is. I'm just saying, this is why the anti-woke people are just killing entertainment for a lot of people, and it's nothing but arguing because they just don't generally give a fuck. It's just, hey, we're gonna call it this woke shit and make money. Meanwhile, these dudes don't even contribute to the communities. What has the John De La Roses contributed to the anime community? Like, what has he actually contributed to the anime community? Like, I don't know anyone who's an anime fan that is saying shit's woke. Like, if you've been watching anime for a long time, woke shouldn't even be anywhere in your vocabulary. But here we are. But anyways, that's my skeletons, guys. I mean, like I said, the ending on the note of there's nothing y'all can say and find about me specifically, that anything I've said or done on the internet, there's no gotcha. I'm not perfect. I don't pretend to be. People just don't like my opinions, and that's fine. I don't like y'all's opinions, but I don't feel the need to have to deep dive into all of your fucking skeletons, quote skeletons, and find anything. Like, if you have some shit that you've done in your past and it comes out on its own naturally, cool, we'll talk about it. But I think it's kind of dumb and childish to do that, and so many people do that to me, and I just always laugh because I'm like, bro, I'll just put up a live stream and talk about it myself and see how that works. But I gotta go because it's getting close to that time where I gotta get ready for work soon. I gotta get some food before I go to work. So I will see you guys depending on how I feel tomorrow, because I'll be home early. I might stream tomorrow. I may not. If I'm tired, I probably won't stream tomorrow, but we'll see how it goes. But thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate you for subscribing and staying subscribed to my dead channel and coming to watch my dead channel. Y'all are awesome. Fuck the haters. They keep me relevant. And I'll see you guys next time. Y'all have a great one. Bye-bye.